Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting and, let's be real, terrifying chapters in motorsport history, Group B Rally. Now, if you've heard of Group B, you probably already know it's the stuff of legends, fierce competition, insane cars, and a level of speed and danger that would never fly in today's motorsports. But for those of you who might be new to this, strap in, because we're about to explore why Group B became known as the golden era of rallying and how its influence is still felt today. So let's rewind to the early 1980s, a time when rally cars were evolving from everyday sedans into fire-breathing monsters with insane horsepower. But how did it all come to be? Let's dive into the origins of Group B. In 1982, the FIA introduced a new class for rallying called Group B. And let me tell you, it changed the game. So what made Group B different? Well, it was basically a class with almost no rules. Manufacturers were allowed to push the envelope in ways they hadn't before. Imagine being an engineer back then, finally getting the green light to go wild. No limitations on engine power, barely any restrictions on weight. The only catch? They had to make 200 road-legal versions of these rally cars, which was a small price to pay for total creative freedom. Audi was the first to jump on this opportunity with their Quattro system, bringing all-wheel drive into rallying. At the time, that was revolutionary. Up until then, rally cars were mostly rear-wheel drive, which made them tricky on surfaces like gravel or snow. But Audi's Quattro A1 flipped the script. Suddenly, you had a car with incredible traction that could tear through mud, ice and snow like it was nothing. It was an absolute game changer, and of course Audi's competitors weren't about to let them dominate for long. Lancia, Peugeot, Ford, they all threw their hats into the ring. Lancia's Delta S4 and Peugeot's 205 T16 were particularly fierce rivals to the Audi Quattro. These cars weren't just fast, they were technological marvels. Turbocharged engines, advanced aerodynamics, even lightweight composite materials that were unheard of at the time. It was like a technological arms race in the world of rallying. But let's not forget, rallying isn't just about the machines, it's about the people behind the wheel. Drivers like Walter Röhrl, Ari Vatanen, Stig Blomqvist and Michel Mouton were absolute legends, pushing these cars to the limit in some of the most brutal conditions you can imagine. Snow-covered roads, rocky mountain passes, tight forest paths, and don't even get me started on the spectators. Fans would stand dangerously close to the action, sometimes even on the roads themselves, making it a risky sport for everyone involved. Now let's talk about the cars themselves, because they weren't just fast. They were over-engineered beasts. The Audi Quattro, for instance, was the first rally car to successfully use all-wheel drive, which at the time was considered unnecessary for rallying. Turns out it gave them a massive edge, especially on low-traction surfaces. Then came the Peugeot 205 T16, which completely blew people's minds. It had a mid-engine layout, which was pretty radical for rally cars back then, and combined it with turbocharging to produce over 400 horsepower. We're talking about a car that could hit 60 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds on dirt roads. Just insane. Lancia wasn't far behind with the Delta S4, which was another engineering marvel. This thing had both a turbocharger and a supercharger, a combination called twin charging, that reduced turbo lag and gave it incredible power delivery. In its final form, the Delta S4 was producing well over 500 horsepower. And remember, these cars weighed next to nothing. We're talking about power-to-weight ratios that could rival some modern supercars. But while all these engineering innovations were pushing rallying into uncharted territory, they were also pushing the limits of safety. The speed and power of these cars started to outpace the ability of drivers, teams, and even fans to control them, and that's where things started to go wrong. By 1985, Group B had become a spectacle, but it was also becoming more dangerous by the day. The cars were so powerful, 500 to 600 horsepower in some cases, that they became incredibly difficult to control. Drivers would describe the turbo lag as terrifying. Imagine coming around a corner, pressing the gas and having a split second before the turbo kicks in and sends the car flying forward like a rocket. One wrong move and it could all go south. And then there were the spectators. Rally fans are hardcore, no doubt about it, but back in the Group B days, they took it to a whole new level. Thousands of fans would line the courses, often standing right on the edge of the road, just inches away from these high-speed machines. The drivers had to rely on the crowd parting at the last possible second. It was chaos, but that was part of the thrill for fans, this sense of danger that anything could happen. Unfortunately, that danger turned deadly. 1985 saw several fatal accidents, but the real tragedy came in 1986 at the Tour de Corse, when Henri Toivonen and his co-driver Sergio Cresto died in a crash that horrified the rally world. That crash was the tipping point. The FIA, realizing that Group B was simply too dangerous, announced that the class would be shut down at the end of the 1986 season. Just like that, Group B was gone. Even though Group B was short-lived, it left an unforgettable mark on motorsport. Those cars, the Lancia Delta S4, the Audi Quattro, the Peugeot 205 T16, they're still legends today. You'll find them in museums, car shows, and even in modern-day rally events as part of historic rallying series. Collectors will pay millions to get their hands on one of these rare beasts. And let's be real, even in the world of pop culture, Group B is still a fan favourite. So, that's the story of Group B, a chapter in rallying that was as brief as it was legendary. Its impact on motorsport is still felt today, and fans continue to look back on it with awe and nostalgia. What do you think? Could something like Group B ever exist again in today's world, or is it best left as a piece of rally history? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the wild world of Group B, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on motorsport history and modern racing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep the passion for speed alive.